Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Hotfix. This is a bit of a different Hotfix. It's more of a reply Hotfix to our own Hotfix. So it's a reply video to our own video. What a masterful stroke. So I was contacted over YouTube by one of our fans, and this is a very detailed, well, it's a detailed breakdown. Well, I'll let Kirioth go into the details, but it's a detailed breakdown of somebody who actually pirates, and they give reasons why. So, over to you, Mr. Kirioth.
Okay, well, I shall leave the lad anonymous, but I'll read out his message in full so you can get a gist of what he's saying. I live in South Australia, Adelaide. I've been involved in pirating games since my father first chipped our PlayStation back in 97 or 98. My parents were not that well off, so this was a shortcut to getting games that my father could otherwise not afford. At the time, I did not understand the implications of piracy, but I myself continue to do this to this day. Why? I am currently unemployed and living off of government pay going on 18 months. And although I'm doing my hardest to get a job at this point, even having completed more than one government paid retail course and the like to increase my chance of getting one, it's not happening. Now, with the sob story out of the way, I can start with the justification beyond the financial. Even with the low pay I am on, I can still, on occasion, afford myself some games and some other comforts. This does not mean, however, that I do not have to be extremely vigilant about what I spend my money on. I do feel bad every time I pirate a game, but with the gradual shift in the gaming industry towards less, let's say, desirable business and monetization models, both in paid for and free to play gaming markets, and with demos and reviews becoming less and less trustworthy and a rental PC that is behind the times as it were, I feel it further necessary to find a way of balancing out how and when I both pirate and purchase video games. This is going to sound crazy, but the way I achieve this balancing act is a list. Every time I pirate a game that actually has any kind of impact on me at all, and or just appeals to my gaming sensibilities, it goes on the list. This list has been in constant reorganisation for years now based on priority. The priority is simple. How long did it take my self-control to rip myself away from the game? The longer it takes, the higher up the list it goes. I have also completed games I've pirated, and so those are given priority over ones I did not finish. It's a justification to myself. I will round off by listing some recent games I've pirated and purchased in the last 18 months, some with the assistance of the holiday sales. Bastion, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Hotline Miami. There's quite a few games here, and basically it's quite a good system what he's done. You know, there's a good list of stuff that he's pirated and then bought. Because he's enjoyed the game, they've gone on the list. As he says at the end, I hope I've given you a unique perspective. And actually, I think he has. It's good to hear from someone who's still in a position where pirating is pretty much necessary to even play games in the first place. And the way he deals with it, by prioritising which games he liked the best, and therefore trying to make sure that those games end up being paid for, it's interesting. It's an interesting response.
He did also give us, obviously, permission to read this out, and he did say we could use his name, but we're not going to. I mean, if he wants to come forward, then that's up to him, but we'll just keep him anonymous, or her anonymous. So, there's obviously quite a few arguments to this. You could say, look, if you cannot afford to game, then simply thieving, robbing the stuff, pirating the games is not the answer. I cannot afford a Ferrari. So is it acceptable for me to walk down the street to the local Ferrari dealer, because I live in such an affluent area, and acquire one with an iron rod, okay, and drive off? That's a wild, outlandish example, but it is still... Is that what he's doing? Now, that's obviously an extreme point of view. On the other side, the Stylosa side, what I actually think about this, I completely understand that. I don't like pirating games, and I think it's bad. You shouldn't pirate games. But I'm not so fucking stupid as to say, right, okay, I'm just going to totally hate on this guy or this girl, or I'm going to totally hate on the actions of this person or whatever person, because I understand why they do and why they have pirated games. Now, there are a lot of reasons why people do pirate games, and we did go into detail on that on the previous Hotfix. But I think this is kind of, it's not startling, but it's sort of eye-opening, because it just sort of explains one person's situation and why they've done it, and it sort of highlights that there are a multitude of different situations. There's loads of different people. Everybody's situation could be totally different. It's very interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Kirioth? What do you think of the whole thing? Do you like? I can obviously understand where the guy's coming from, and I've tried to put forward 2 crazy arguments or points of view.
See, I think it provides, for a start, a very good opportunity. This does to reiterate something that we said in the original video that I think was lost by some people. We might not agree with the pirating of games, but we can still understand why it'd be done. I mean, for our anonymous messenger here, it's very clear cut. He does not have the budget to buy games, and I mean, from what he said, it's a rental PC, so it's not even as though the PC's his own. So it's not even you can bring out that thing of, oh, well, you can afford a good PC, but you can't afford games. I don't think so. He's in a position where it's pretty much a choice between food or games. And the sensible person always goes for food, isn't it? That's the thing you need to survive. But at the same time, he doesn't want to give up on a hobby that he likes. So,
and he does also contribute to the gaming community as well. He does buy games. It's not like he doesn't buy anything. It's not like he's a total pirate. So,
I think it's a very good way of balancing between the two. There might still be that aspect of doing something wrong, but it's then, I suppose, not outweighed, but helped with the fact that he is also trying to do it right. So it's not as though he buys the game, completes it, and then, pirates the game, completes it, and the developer never sees a cent. He's worked out a good system for stuff that he enjoys. The people who put the effort in do eventually reap the reward from him. And I can understand why he do it. He's laid out very clearly.
But it's still not legally and technically right. You should not pirate games. This is my point of view. Yeah, you should not do it. But I understand why you do it, and I'm not going to hate on people that do it for those type of reasons. As we said in the other hotfix, if you're doing it because you're just a twat and you just want to, I don't pay for any games, I download them all, blah blah blah. I've got a £3,000 gaming computer and I'm a jerk off. Then you are a twat. Piss off. But there are a lot of people, real people in this world, who are not in a situation or a position where they can just say, I'm going to buy all the latest games. And they want to be part of this community, and they do contribute to this community. So in a weird way, the pirating of games is kind of like a form of advertising, which does encourage these people to spend money on gaming that they would not necessarily spend, because if they totally gave up the entire hobby of gaming, then they wouldn't spend any money on it anyway. But then you could say, well, if they haven't got the money Stylosa to spend it on the first place, what the hell are they even doing? So it swings and roundabouts.
But that's one of the things that makes piracy such a sort of contentious and grey area, because a lot of it is based on context. If someone sat there with a £3,000 computer, they've just bought the iPhone 5 and an iPad, and then they sit there and say, I only pirate games because I don't want to spend the money on it. Well, that's clearly just bullshit. That's just wrong.
Yep.
That's not doing it because you have a love of the hobby and you're on hard times. You just don't simply have the money to spend. That's because you're selfish. That's because you have no respect for the thing that you're claiming to like. Whereas, if you've been unemployed for ages, if you don't have a job, if you don't have that spare cash, and you still want to carry on with your hobby, but find a way to try and make it up, you're still pirating stuff, but as this person's doing, they are writing down all the things that they like, they're writing down the stuff they've completed, and they're making sure the developer gets their due, then it's not going to make it right, but it minimises the damage. And it's the kind of context where it's where you can apply understanding. I can't understand someone with a load of money who does it just because they can't be asked to pay for a game. But I can understand the person who does not have the money and still wants to do the right thing. That's the whole thing. It's all about the context for me.
Well, it also shows how great our fans are if they think they can trust us with this type of information. If anybody else would like to send over their, it's almost like their admission of guilt. But if you would like to talk to me via YouTube private messages, so if you send me a private message just through the YouTube channel, I'll obviously keep it confidential because I'm not going to throw information all over the place. I might reply to you, but I'll most definitely read all of them. Same goes for Kiri. We both read the channel, so we will see stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's been a very revealing admission of a pirate, really. So make sure you subscribe, guys. Follow the channel and, subscribe to the channel. I keep getting confused between Twitch and YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, that's what I'm trying to say. Follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and follow Kirioth, he's @Kirioth, and I think we'll catch him next time, Mr. Kirioth. Toodaloo.